Hello everyone and welcome to Vlog Runner Everything and welcome back to the channel and welcome as well to all those listening in from the podcast, whether you're listening from Spotify or Google Podcasts, welcome in, and I hope that you are having a more pleasurable time listening to this podcast or watching these videos on YouTube than I had watching that FC Barcelona win against Girona. Okay, that was a pretty turgid performance. I think we can put it that way. It was a performance of the watching paint dry variety. Can't imagine anybody enjoyed watching that. Anywho, this is a match review, so as we usually do with match reviews, we're going to talk tactical setup, then look at our negatives and positives before I give you the team rating as well as the manager rating and the man of the match. So if this is your first time listening or tuning in on YouTube or on Spotify or Google Podcasts, go ahead and hit subscribe or follow, whichever one of those is appropriate. And without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the tactical setup. So FC Barcelona set up here with a 4-3-3 formation. So Ter Stegen as usual in goals, a back four that consisted of Araujo, Conde, Eder Garcia and Marcos Alonso, the midfield three of Gavi, Frankie de Jong, Busquets, and a front three of Dembele, Fati and Rafinha. So Dembele did happen to go off injured in this one, so hopefully it's not as bad as as bad as it's been in the past with him. So we'll be hoping for some good news, especially since he didn't go straight down the tunnel after he was subbed off, but he sat on the bench and he was there for the entirety of the rest of the match. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk negatives and positives from the performance. So we'll start, of course, with our negatives, and probably top of the list was just like it wasn't a good performance. In general, that was not a performance that I think any of us would have enjoyed watching. Like I had said earlier, it's not the performance that we expected, especially coming from that Real Sociedad match where FC Barcelona were playing some pretty good football. This, by comparison, you could say, of course, that it's kind of what you'd expect from a derby match, playing against a weaker opponent, opponent you're expected to beat. They're going to take the game to a physical place, which is what we saw. There were a lot of fouls in here, a lot of yellow cards. But at the end of the day, it wasn't really good from FC Barcelona, even though, of course, like I put it, they did win this match. The next negative I have is having to do with our finishing as well as our creating. Because today I thought the final ball just wasn't there for FC Barcelona, and then the rare occasion that there was something like a final ball, the finishing wasn't as good. People were taking uncertain touches in the box where you thought they could have probably taken the chance. First time, we ended up not being able to finish any of the chances we got. It's pretty telling that the goal came from a turnover in possession, right? It came from a counter press and Girona failing to recover from that counter press, as well as Gazzaniga making a very huge error on that Jordi Alba cross, which as well wasn't a good one, to be honest. It was off because the goalkeeper basically let it run through his hands. Pedri had an easy tap in at the back post. Okay, so let's talk some positives. And as has been the case for the past few weeks, our first positive is our defense. And once again, Barcelona get a 1-0 win, after Getafe, after Real Sociedad, after Atletico de Madrid, right? That's now the fourth 1-0 win in the space of, 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, from about the last 7 fixtures, 4 1-0 wins. Xavi is really looking like the new Diego Simeone here, okay? We're looking at Tiki-Taka Cholo probably here. But that's mostly due to our defense. I think it was once again a good performance from them. Ter Stegen as well as, Araujo and Conde. And generally when Araujo is in that back four, everything just looks solid, and he's always just sniffing out danger and putting it out before the opponent can get a chance to put one in the back of the net. So my second and final positive is the fact that, of course, this was a win. Dub is a dub at the end of the day, and it gets the job done, puts pressure on Real Madrid as they go to play Real Sociedad. And if they just so happen to slip up, then Barca could find themselves at least 4 points clear or something like that. Right? Is my math okay? No, my math isn't mathing right now. They could find themselves at most 6 points clear or 5 points clear, which I think we can probably take that whichever way it goes. Anyhow, let's go ahead and talk team rating and manager rating. And for the team rating here, I gave the team a solid 7 out of 10. It wasn't a good performance, like I said, very much giving watching paint dry vibes. The performance from Barca here, the entire match as a whole, could have slept through this one and just woken up when Pedri scored and then slept again because, it wasn't that great. 7 out of 10 is probably the fair rating here for the team because, once again, the defense did do its job despite how much chopping and changing there was actually in that backline towards the end of the game because Xavi was just going off with the subs. But at the end of the day, I think they performed well and it all worked out. So it just leaves us giving Xavi's rating and picking a man of the match. And as for Xavi's rating, I went with a 5 out of 10 because there wasn't really much in this for Xavi. Like, it wasn't a special setup or a special lineup or anything like that. And his team didn't really dominate so much that you'd think, oh my god, what a performance, what a setup by the manager. So yeah, 5 out of 10 for Xavi. And as for the man of the match, he missed out last week because of Marc Andre Ter Stegen. But this time around, man of the match is rightfully, I think, Pedri, because he did bring that difference, coming on for Dembele when he was injured, and ultimately he was the difference between the two teams as he managed to sniff out that space, once again finding his way into the box and really improving on his contribution in the final third. Alrighty, that is actually that, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you're watching this from YouTube, and also you can just, let me know your thoughts in a review. If you're like listening to this on Spotify, do give a review, help a boy out, maybe 5 stars. I'm just saying, you can put 5 stars even if you don't like it and say, I did not like it. It's not against the rules, you know what I mean? Anywho, thank you once again for tuning in. Have a great day, and Forza Barca.